Hey there, folks. Rambling Collector here. So, a while back, I actually did a poll on the community tab to see which real talk subject you all wanted me to talk about. And the three options were burnout, depression, and anger. And while it was close, it looks like burnout was the winner. So that will be the subject of today's real talk. Now, when it comes to burnout, there are two very distinct ways that it can appear. But in my opinion, it's rough to get through. I've experienced burnout a couple of times in the past, and it's never fun to deal with, especially when it just corrodes some of your favorite things in life, or if it just creeps up on you completely. Now, a few times I've felt burnout has been either through one, overwork to the point of exhaustion to where nothing feels satisfying or you can't sit down and enjoy things anymore, or when you've enjoyed something too much of something you like, and now everything about it just feels stale, so you don't really get any enjoyment out of it whatsoever. I have dealt with the latter more than the former. Granted, the former has popped up a few times of where I've just burned myself out from too much overwork and work stress and all that stuff. But the second one, which is enjoying too much of a good thing to the point that it becomes stale, that is one that I felt more highly, especially when it comes to my work in reading as well as reviewing them. Because there have been a few times I have actually overworked myself to the point of wanting to finish a book or a comic or manga or even just a TV show. I have tried to get through it and constantly telling myself, I need to get through this, I need to get through this, without really enjoying it. Does that make sense to you guys? I have felt this a few times before, and by then, it just became too much to the point that it just felt like I didn't want to do it anymore. I have felt that a few times with other books that I have not had the highest opinions of. For instance, I've had to put Glenn Cook's Black Company down for a bit, just so I can recharge my batteries and not feel like throwing the book out. Because it got to that point that I was burning myself out trying to finish this because I was so close. I kept telling myself just a little bit more, just a little bit more. But by doing that, it felt more of a chore rather than something to enjoy. I did not feel invested into it. And a lot of times we deal with that with other hobbies as well. You might like listening to music, or doing other things like reading a certain comic or a manga, or just watching a TV show, or binge watching movies, or something other of a hobby that you enjoy. I'm pretty sure we've all felt that moment where we just look at our favorite hobby that we've done for so long sometimes, and we just think to ourselves, I don't feel the same as I did before. You think to yourself, I don't want to do this right now. I want to do something different. But you have done that for so long that it's hard to break from that cycle. And eventually, the thing that you've grown to like and have absolutely obsessed over for a while starts to become something you hate. And that is something I really don't want to see you all going through with some of your favorite hobbies. And my advice to you when it comes to this, if you start feeling burned out on a hobby or something and you want to take a break from it, then do so. You don't have to define yourself by that one single hobby. You can branch out and choose other things. That way you're not burning yourself out or risking hating the thing that you've come to love so much. It's important to branch out, take a breather, and just relax for a bit. I've told myself that a few times when it comes to reading a certain book or a series, and I've been telling myself continuously, you gotta finish it, you gotta finish it, you gotta review this, you gotta review this. But when I do that, it takes the joy out of reading. And then it's just not that fun to talk about. I've actually had this kind of experience with Calgar's Fury, a Warhammer 40k novel I read way back when. And let me tell you, the book itself was incredibly bad, but the fact that I kept pushing myself to keep going through it wound up with me absolutely despising that book. With regards to that, though, stress work, burnout. I have done the stupid thing of doing consecutive work weeks or multiple days without a day off or break. And I'm here to tell you guys that it's not a healthy behavior. And I know, pot calling kettle black here. But this is something I want you all to take into account. it is important to have regards for your own health. It is important to take at least an hour or two out of your day for yourself to invest in a hobby that you like, or even just to take a break. Give your body a chance to rest or relax for a bit. Because if you don't, you will wind up burning yourself out completely to the point that you just feel exhausted, irritable, and just straight up not the most agreeable person in the morning. I know that's usually me without coffee first thing in the morning. But in all seriousness though, burnout is not something you want to go through, and it's definitely not something you can easily break out of. But I will say the most important thing you can do is take a break. Take a breather if you need to. If you're overworked, take an hour or two, or even take a day for yourself to set aside to just breathe for a second, not do anything, and just treat yourself to something. Now, if you're having trouble with a hobby, invest in something else for a little while. Put down the book or the game or movie or something, like turn off the television for a bit. Go off and do something else. Just have fun with your life. Don't invest too much in one thing, or you will wind up hating it for the rest of your life. And that is something that I don't want anyone to do. To wind up hating something that they used to love, that they used to enjoy. And that is the subject of today's Real Talk, burnout. If you did like this, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to see my other Real Talks, feel free to check out the playlist for yourself and see what you think. I really enjoy talking about these from time to time because I want my channel to not just be about just books or comics or manga or whatever. Sometimes I want to address something in real life. And if you guys want me to talk about the other two subjects, such as anger or depression, let me know about that as well in the comments. I'll probably do a future poll sometime in the future to discuss which one to tackle next. Feel free to cast your votes. I actually want to see what you all want me to talk about next. And if you're ever feeling burned out, just remember my advice. More importantly, just keep trying to enjoy your life to the best of your ability. You only have the one. Don't waste it. Anyways, you guys, thank you once again for listening. This is Rambling Collector, signing off.